Can a woman actually become a wife without first being a daughter? Here's 5 reasons why not. Number one, she has to be in her masculine energy in order to be alone, and therefore, consciously or unconsciously, she'll be interested in a more feminine guy who obviously won't lead to a successful marriage with kids. Number two, as a masculine woman, she wants to be more promiscuous. She wants a quote unquote experienced guy who's been with other women, which is a contradiction to purity culture and marriage. And she ends up seeking men who are willing to take her body without giving commitment. And that's because as a woman, if you're alone, you're either feminine and get manipulated easily, or you're masculine and you're preferring feminine men. For example, men who don't want pure women and want a woman who is a quote unquote freak in the bedroom, which really means that they want a masculine woman who's been with lots of other men. Number three, they're not interested in finding a guy who would be a good provider. They're not trying to appeal to that type of guy when they're on their own. They're in a survival mode where they're not thinking, oh, if I act and behave in a pure manner, virtuous manner, and stay close to men who protect and provide for me and honor them, then I would actually be attractive to a guy who wants to do the same thing, because he sees that, hey, she honors her father, then yeah. And point number four, if they can't do that, there's no father figure available, no brothers, no patriarchy to look out for her, then here's an idea. If a man and woman really like each other, then they can prove it by she actually practicing the role of daughter and he practicing the role of father. And obviously this is a gray area where it might be hard to do because they're also attracted to each other and they want to be husband and wife in theory, but they can at least at a distance learn about, through discussion with each other in a platonic scientific way, encouraging each other because a woman needs to have that father in order to be in her feminine. And if a guy is willing to do that, then he's helping to create a woman who would enjoy being a wife, which she could actually become his wife. Now that process, who knows how long it would take. I'm only introducing an idea, a solution to situations. It's all about biology, guys. Point number 5. Women are supposed to have men chase them and value their body very highly so that they will only give it to a man who is willing to do the work to be a good husband and commit to her for life, and then he gives her the body. And when people try to reverse the process, it's out of sequence. It's like trying to eat dessert and get the reward without doing the work for it. And then the rest of preparing the dinner and then eating the dinner, you don't want to do it anymore because you've had dessert. Physical intimacy is supposed to be a feature that allows people to get attached to each other once they've committed to each other, and so it's supposed to be a reward for doing the hard work of preparing yourself to be a husband or wife. And when people hear me talk like this, who are, I don't want to say reprobate, sometimes people do get burnt out, especially women. They have like a limited amount of where they go through these processes of breakup, and they end up being like a man, and they don't want to attach and follow a man anymore. But it's also if women age past, say, 30 or whatever age men and women their minds start to calcify, women don't even like the idea of following a man and wanting to honor her feminine and her biology of that her job is to, what do female creatures do in nature? A lot of them, they run away and only allow the men who are willing to do the work to get them to actually be intimate with them. And another side note is this idea of people being promiscuous for the sake of pleasure. It's actually what I would describe as quasi, because neither men nor women in these situations often are interested in actually doing evolutionary beneficial stuff like mating and having children, and doing it in a way that they're choosing traits: good provider man, strong, and a woman who's healthy, fit, and pure, and is able to have multiple children. Like all these ideas of like the woman only wanting the rude alpha bad boy guys who on the surface seem like they're confident, but they're only really wanting to dominate the woman's body. They don't really want to be a husband. They don't really want the feminine. They only want the woman to basically be masculine in her approach to intimacy. They want her to be the aggressor. They want her to be the freak in the bed. They want her to pay her own bills, so that all they want is intimacy with the woman, which it's a system that's going to fail, because it ends up where guys who may not have the most alpha archetype traits, they end up not even wanting women because the women don't want to commit, and then the women think that it's because those guys are insecure, but it's really because the women have made themselves masculine and unattractive, and women are only attracted to these feminine men who don't want to provide, and they only want the woman's body. So it's kind of like emotional. It's kind of like chasing emotions, like trying to use all this whole game of manipulation and romance and seduction. That's actually a feminine way of being not focused. It's like an addiction, and that's how it's a paradox. They're feminine alpha guys. It's a paradox because they may have physical alpha qualities, but their essence is actually feminine. They are not focused on one woman, and they're not even attracted to one woman who should be attractive enough. Like they're not even getting the woman that they would be willing to marry and commit to, because all these women are not able to make these bonds and ties, or the men aren't either, because everyone's got all this decision fatigue of, oh, you can do anything, and body positivity, and you can do whatever you want. No, that's not how nature works. And when you dishonor nature and you disregard the feminine, and women don't want to be feminine and want a man who will provide and protect to allow them to be in their feminine, which is actually more courageous than a woman trying to be a man, then you end up with a society that can and probably should destroy itself, so that consciousness can animate life forms wherever they are, sentient beings in this galaxy or beyond, in such a way that the woman and the feminine is celebrated. And I talk a lot more about this on my other videos, so tune in, and excited for your commentary, guys. This is new ideas. It's edgy, but it's meant for honest dialogue if you're willing to engage in it with me.